In the heart of London, behind the city's most exclusive neighborhoods, lies a story of wealth that spans centuries. From Mayfair to Belgravia, from dukes to moguls, one family's influence quietly shaped the landscape of London itself. The name, Grosvenor. But how did this aristocratic family rise to control vast swaths of some of the world's most expensive real estate? How did they build an empire that continues to shape the city today? And what financial moves secured their place among Britain's elite? Stay with us as we uncover the story of the Grosvenor family, a tale of power, land, and extraordinary wealth. A key part of our story begins in the 1600s, when a modest but ambitious family acquired their first piece of land. Sir Thomas Grosvenor, a young baronet, married Mary Davies in 1677. With that union came something extraordinary: 500 acres of land in what was then the countryside west of London. At first glance, this land seemed unremarkable: pastures and open fields. But what happened next would change the course of the family's fortunes forever. London was expanding, and the Grosvenors held something invaluable: land. As the city grew, their holdings, which covered areas like Mayfair and later Belgravia, became prime real estate. But the real genius wasn't just in owning land, it was in what they did with it. While others rushed to sell their land, the Grosvenor family took a different approach. They didn't just want to sell parcels. They wanted to control development. Through careful planning and leases, they built entire neighborhoods, controlling the architecture, the types of buildings, and even the social atmosphere. By the 18th century, Mayfair had transformed into one of London's most fashionable districts. And as wealthy families moved in, the Grosvenor estate became synonymous with London's elite. But this was just the beginning of a strategy that would grow their fortune in ways few could have imagined. While other landowners sought quick profits, the Grosvenors played the long game. They leased their properties on 99-year terms, retaining ownership of the land itself. This meant that even as tenants built lavish homes and businesses, the land, and its rising value, remained in Grosvenor hands. The financial benefits were staggering. As London's economy grew, so did property values. The Grosvenors weren't just wealthy. They controlled land that became some of the most valuable real estate in the world. Mayfair became a haven for the upper classes, while Belgravia, developed in the 1820s by Robert Grosvenor, the first Marquess of Westminster, was designed to rival it. Wide streets, grand terraces, and elegant squares marked a new era of luxury living. Today, these areas are among the most prestigious addresses in London, and the Grosvenor estate remains at the heart of it all. But this wasn't just a story of London. It's about how land ownership, careful planning, and financial foresight turned the Grosvenors into one of the wealthiest families in Britain. Over the centuries, the Grosvenor family's strategy of retaining control through leases has allowed them to maintain influence over these neighborhoods while benefiting from the constant rise in property values. But their wealth isn't tied to the past. The Grosvenors have evolved with the times. Today, the family's real estate holdings are managed through Grosvenor Group, a global property company that extends far beyond London. The company owns and manages developments across North America, Asia, and Europe. Their portfolio includes everything from residential properties to high-end office spaces, shopping centers, and even entire urban developments. This diversification means that the Grosvenors aren't just landowners, they're global real estate moguls, and their financial reach continues to expand. In the 21st century, the Grosvenor fortune continues to thrive under the leadership of Hugh Grosvenor, the 7th Duke of Westminster. At just 25 years old, he inherited his family's wealth and became one of the richest men in the world. But Hugh isn't simply resting on the family's legacy. Under his leadership, the Grosvenor Group has pushed forward with a focus on sustainability and urban innovation, ensuring that the family's empire remains relevant in a rapidly changing world. As of today, the Grosvenor Group manages assets worth over £11 billion, making the Grosvenors one of the wealthiest families in Britain and the world. One of the keys to the Grosvenor family's enduring wealth is their ability to adapt. Where many aristocratic families saw their fortunes decline in the 20th century, the Grosvenors evolved. They didn't just build for the present, they planned for the future. Their focus on sustainability is reshaping how cities are developed. From eco-friendly buildings to greener public spaces, the Grosvenor family is continuing to shape not only the financial world, but the physical landscape of cities worldwide. This is the legacy of a family whose fortune was built on land, but whose wealth was secured through foresight, innovation, and long-term vision. The Grosvenor family's story is one of power, but not the loud, obvious kind. Their wealth has always been quiet, growing steadily over centuries as London expanded and evolved around them. Through careful planning, financial discipline, and a deep understanding of land, the Grosvenors have built one of the most enduring dynasties in British history. Even today, as new developments rise and the city changes, the Grosvenors remain at the heart of London's elite. Their name may not be shouted from the rooftops, but their influence is felt in every corner of the city, from the grand Georgian townhouses of Mayfair to the towering offices of the West End. The Grosvenor family didn't just shape London's skyline, they created a blueprint for generational wealth. Their story is a reminder of the enduring power of land and the importance of patience in building a financial empire. From dukes to moguls, the Grosvenor family's legacy is far from over. And as London continues to grow, one thing is certain, their influence will remain. Thank you for watching. Subscribe for more stories of the world's wealthiest families and the empires they built.